Tajikistan, which is a Muslim majority country, 95% of people are Muslim, and they have just banned hijab, burqa, and all those attire, including niqab, and saying that it's alien clothing and they need to go. So this bill is just passed by their parliament, and there will be hefty fines for those who still wear it. It's $750 for individuals, and the fine is much higher for government and other institutions. Tajikistan, being a Muslim majority country, is sending a very strong message to the world that hijab is not an obligation but Islam. It is cultural and was made part of religion by Wahhabi sect, which is in majority found in Saudi Arabia. And that's why you see majority of Muslim countries don't put hijab as an obligation, aside from Iran, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia. And all of them have very fundamentalist regime, which I am strongly against. So I'm so actually proud of MBS, the new king, who is a millennial from Saudi Arabia and who is making such good reforms and has made very good moves in positive direction. Now women can drive in Saudi Arabia, and I don't know what's going on with hijab, but I think it's less restrictive than before. So it's definitely moving in good direction, positive direction. I was even thinking about making a video on MBS because I'm so impressed by the actions he's taking. And some traditional Muslim people call him an atheist just because he is integrating himself with the current society. There's a very strong push among Muslims that they want to keep us in very primitive era. Society is moving, humans are evolving. We have to evolve. We cannot suppress the evolution. So we are getting modern day by day, and we have to catch up to the society. It doesn't mean we start wearing bikinis. No, it doesn't mean that. We still can continue our religion. We can still stay very modest, but we have to catch up. We cannot stay in that primitive society where women are fully covered. I think education is a big part of it. So I've seen when countries where there's no education, they are doing worse than countries who are getting education. Because what education does, our mind, it opens our logical, reasonable thinking. So I'll give you an example. In US, at Southeast Asian Muslim community is very educated and they are doing really well. I'm very impressed by Muslims here. I have rarely seen niqab here, and if I do see it, I assume they are either tourists, because we get a lot of, I live in Orlando and we get tourists from Saudi Arabia, and I assume they are not locals. Even if the girls are wearing hijab, I haven't seen burqa. It's again very rare. They wear hijab with their regular dressing. Muslim community is very modest here, very educated and open-minded. And I just don't want the Muslim community here to be infested by that fundamentalist ideology, which is infesting UK. When I see UK community, it literally boggles my mind. They are going backwards. They are like, girls are forced to wear hijab, girls are getting forced marriage, they are getting killed by their own family in the name of honor killing. Actually, one of the biggest influencer, Ali Dawa or Al Dawa, I've made a couple of videos on him too. He just made a video in which his wife couldn't even speak. Like, a girl is not even allowed to speak. She was covered from head to toe. Not a single part of her body was showing. She was sitting backward and she was writing her thoughts. And he said it's her reaction, but clearly it was his reaction. All she said was 2 sentences. What is this? This is so primitive. Like, women, it is complete oppression of a woman. Freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and it must stop. I'm glad we are not infested in America with that kind of ideology, and I just don't want America to be infested by that kind of ideology. I'm very opposed to it, and more countries need to catch up to this. Banning niqab. I'm against niqab. I will be the first one to sign a bill that will support banning of niqab, because I made another video on niqab too, why I don't believe in niqab, and I made a video on hijab, why hijab is not an obligation according to Quran, and you can watch both those videos where I talk to it in detail. The reason I'm against niqab is that our face is an identification. You cannot identify the other person. It's completely against safety. Number two, God has given us sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of taste, speech, hearing. All these senses are here. Besides touch, that's everywhere. So these are very important senses to practice in our daily life. Why are you why are you obstructing what God has given us? God has given us these senses to enjoy life. Just look at the world underneath your niqab or burqa that's cover your entire face. It will be completely different. Why are you not enjoying beauty, the natural beauty that God has given us? For what reason? Where does it say women have to be covered from head to toe? And stop giving me those two verses from Quran that does not say a woman should cover her hair and that does not say a woman should cover her whole body. The only verse where Allah suggested women should cover herself, it was to cover her breast area, which is very sexual part and it's understandable. And the second verse was just because there were no bathrooms and they were going down in the fields and they were using it as restroom and men were watching them and harassing them. So in that verse, Quran clearly says that cover yourself because it's so you are protected. Never said you must cover yourself. You must cover yourself from head to toe. It's like very clear. I don't even want to keep talking about it. You can watch my other videos. It's if you are using your mind, your logic, you will get it. If you are not, if you are just watching, if you are just following culture and history, you are not going to get it because you are biased then. And this ban is taken very positively. So I want to see in future days, in upcoming days, how other people, how traditional Muslims from other countries take it, but I am still taking it positively. However, I do condemn banning hijab, which means a head covering. A woman should be allowed to wear hijab wherever she wants, if she wants to, and it shouldn't be banned. So I really don't know the reason behind why they ban it. They also ban fluffy big beards. They also ban children's celebration of Eid holidays because they are saying that it affects their schooling. So I just think that is unnecessary. Really long beard banning is understandable because it does give that mindset. So it seems like they are just completely against that fundamentalist mindset. But Eid holidays, Eid is a very special time for families, so there's no need to ban Eid holidays. I don't know what was the reason to ban Eid holidays. So I'm against them banning head covering and Eid holidays. However, I strongly support banning forced hijab. So many parents and families force their girls to wear hijab and it is completely un-Islamic because the girl is not getting any benefit, any reward for wearing a hijab when it is forced. She should be willing to wear it. Stop forcing your kids to do things like this. It is against human right. I do support if any government enforce hijab, and there will be a very hefty fine for families when they are forcing their daughters to wear hijab, because again, this is against human right. A girl should be able to choose what she wants to wear. It's not an obligation. If she wants to do it, or even if she thinks it's an obligation, it should come from her.